Well, there's a few of my birds again. They're nice birds this year. And they perform well. And here's the landy. Since the last video, it's been for an MOT and passed. I'm very happy with the suspension. It's much softer than it was. I've put parabolic springs on, and I've modified them, much against everybody's disapproval. But there we are. It's a nice, comfortable, reasonably comfortable ride now. What else I've done is I put one of these cooling fans on, similar to a Kenlo, and in the instructions it says put it into the top hose. Well, what happens if you put it in the top hose, if the water goes down a bit, it doesn't operate properly. So I've taken that out and I'm going to put it into the bottom hose. I've also had trouble with what turned out to be the petrol pump. The diesel pump. Although it's a brand new one, it's a Bry part, and although it pumps, whenever I stopped the engine, it would siphon back out into the tank. And the only reason I knew that was that this filter, which I put in, fortunately it was clear, it was always empty, and I had trouble with the fuel pipes collapsing, and so I'd lost power and had to limp home a couple of times. But anyway, spent a day on it. I renewed the fuel line with copper. You can see that down there. I renewed it to that petrol pump. I wish I'd renewed it down to the new pump. This is an electric pump. Where is it? This is an electric pump I had in my shed. So I've extended the pipe with rubber, then through to another filter, and then down to the proper filter. And everything seems to be fine now. Plenty of fuel. Goes very well indeed. So I'm pleased with that, and I'm just hoping that it will last. Servo here, I'm going to put a bigger one on. The larger the diameter on servos, the more powerful they are, so I'm going to try and get a bigger servo on there. I've also put on a pressure gauge for the vacuum, not a pressure gauge, a vacuum gauge, which measures in inches of mercury. I've now got excellent mercury levels, excellent readings. I've also fitted here an electric servo pump, so when I'm off-roading, it seems to be a reasonably common fault with Land Rovers, they run out of vacuum. So putting this on, it comes on when I put the foot brake on, and it boosts up the servo, and I'm very pleased with that. It's a really good modification. Again, people said no, you can't do it, blah blah blah. Anyway, I've done it and it works. The brakes are upgraded to twin leading shoes. An extreme improvement on the old Series 2A single leading shoe brakes, which were, just about as good as moped brakes. So all in all, I'm very pleased with it. And today we're going off to where I keep some of my other cars, so perhaps I'll take a video down there. Just have a look inside. So inside we've got the other thing I've done, I've altered in the injector pump, I've altered the star wheel, and I've also increased the mixture so it gets more fuel. It's made a great improvement in the performance. And the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take out this oil temperature gauge, which isn't really necessary, and replace it with a turbo boost gauge. And so I can adjust the turbo boost to around about one bar. And I put in a fuel pump switch and an electric fan override switch. So you can hear the pump, turn it off, hear the pump. This is the inches of mercury servo gauge. Engine isn't running. Let's turn that pump off. Turn the pump off. Engine isn't running. Put my foot on the foot brake, and you can see the servo pressure is going up. Well, that'll go right up until past 21. Well, actually it's around 20, let's say. So there we are. Now start it. And as you can see, we've got as you see, we've got 25 inches, and as the revs increase, that increases. One tick over, it stays around 20, 22, something like that. I think when I turn it off, it does hold pressure, but it loses it, what I consider to be reasonably quickly. So I'll have to look into that, get that sorted out. I think it's on the servo because all the other joints have been meticulously made, and I don't think there's any leaks on them. It comes from around the servo. When I wiggle the connection, it loses pressure. So hopefully the new servo will sort that out. I've got that's a radiator off a motorbike with a fan. I might try and put that in as a heater element, either in the passenger's footwell or under the driver's footwell, once I've got some large diameter heater hoses. So I think that's about it. Get ready and go off down to the farm. Here we are down at the farm, and there's number 1 vehicle, complete with feathers. Number 2 vehicle has been here some time. And in these barns there's various bits and pieces and cars and all sorts of things. There's an old Mercedes. In this one we've got a 1934 Triumph Gloria, work in progress. It is a runner. Put new switches on that, but unfortunately I haven't been able to spend the time on it this year. Next door there's a Rover, that way. Land Rover chassis. There's my Land Rover, and here's the famous Martin
Yeah.
with his Land Rovers, and his lightweight, which is recently rebuilt, done about the same work as I've done on mine, and he's just putting on a
Jack it up, put a car under it.
yeah, and just putting a top on it for the window.
Yeah. modified special.
Modified back. Yeah, so there we are. This is a little workshop. Well, we're back home now, and here's what was my daily driver, Rover 75. Now the Land Rover's finished, I'll be selling this, most probably. Lovely car to drive, wants a few things doing to it, but it's a good everyday driver. And over here, under the black tarpaulin, we have an almost complete, what I call my rat rod Mark II Jag. I'll continue doing this in the next couple of months, and you can see the condition of the paintwork, which a lot of people don't like, but I do. So it's another work in progress. Okay, bye. What I did forget to mention was that this has got a 200 TDI engine in it, connected up to the original Series 2 gearbox, and one of the things that I'd done was change the diffs. It had the original 471 diffs in, and I've changed it to the 3.5 diffs, which has made a lot of difference. I went up the motorway last week in it quite happily at 65, so it's made a lot of difference. And I've also been off-roading in it. I've got the low range gearbox and it all seems good. So that's about it. Bye.